Okay, so we are going to put this is going to be the division box method, okay? This is my favorite. I've already told you guys that, and I think it'll eventually become your favorite. So we're going to start by listing our dividend, which was that. Thank you, Jacob. What was it? Yes, 756. Remember, our dividend is the number we're dividing into, and our divisor was 6. Good. Okay. So over here, I'm going to list my multiples of 6 because that's going to help me when you get into the larger multiples and you have like 6 times 7, 6 times 8. Sometimes it's a struggle for us. So we're going to go ahead and list our multiples of 6 to help us when we're dividing. Okay, so you guys help me out with these. 6 times 1. 6 times 2. Next. Next. Hold on. Slow down. You're a little faster than I can write. So I've got 42. What'd you have next? Man, y'all are awesome at those multiples of 6. Look how good you did with that. Okay, so now we're going to move on down to our box method. Okay, now that we have our multiples, this is going to be a whole lot easier. Okay, so when I do the box method, guys, they're already drawn for you on here. But when you do it on your own, what you're going to do is you're going to take this dividend, and you have 3 digits in your dividend, right? So you're going to have 3 boxes. So I'm going to put 1 digit of each of my dividends at the top of my box, just like that. So I'm putting a 7 in the hundreds box, a 5 in the tens box, and a 6 in the ones box. Okay? And then over here to the side, I'm going to put my divisor, which is 6. Good. Okay? Now, remember, you're going to have to list your steps over here to the side to help you remember what to do. So, Daddy, Mommy, Sister, Brother, Rover. The D tells me I'm going to divide. The M tells me I'm going to. S tells me I'm going to subtract. Now, this is where it's different. Okay? This is where our box method changes from our standard algorithm. Instead of bringing down, what are we going to do, Grayson? We're going to bring it up, okay? So that's the only difference between our steps on the box method and the algorithm is with the box method, we're bringing up, okay? The R is going to stay the same. I'm going to either repeat or it's going to be my remainder, okay? All right, so we're going to get started with our first step. We're going to divide. So I'm going to look, I have 700s. So I'm going to split those 700s into 6 groups. So if I do that, how many can I put in each group? How many times can 6 go into 7? Aubrey? 1, okay? So I'm going to put a 1 up here above the 7 in my hundreds place because I can put 100 in each group. What's my next step? Multiply. Okay, so I'm going to draw an arrow over here. Once you get good at this, guys, you won't have to do this, but this just helps me remember that I'm multiplying the numbers at the top times my divisor. Okay, so I'm going to multiply that 100 times 6. So what is that? 6. Okay, so I'm going to put my 600s underneath my 700s. My next step is going to be to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 7 minus 6, and I'm going to get 1. Okay, so I have this 100. What's my next step? I'm going to bring it up. So I'm going to bring this 1 up to the tens place. So that 100 is actually going to become 10 tens. I'm going to add it to the 5 tens that are already there. So now I have 15 tens. Okay, is 15 greater than 6? Yes, so that means I'm going to repeat. I've got to do it over again. Okay, so I'm going to start all the way back up at the top. So the first step is my next step is going to be to do what? Divide. I have to divide because I'm starting all over again. Okay. So I'm going to have 15 and I'm dividing that by 6. If I look up here at my multiples, 6 times what gets me closest to 15? Just tell me, class. 2, okay? 6 times 2 is 12. That's less than 15. 6 times 3 is 18, so that's too many. So it's going to have to be 2. So 15 divided by 6 is going to be 2. So I'm going to put my 2 up there above my 15. My next step is going to be to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 6, and what's that going to be? 12, okay? And I don't even have to think about it because I've got it right here with my multiples, okay? All right, my next step is going to be to subtract. So 15 minus 12, what's that going to be? 3, very good, okay? And what am I going to do with that 3? I'm going to bring it up. So I'm bringing that 3 up to my 1s. So 3 tens is now going to be 31s. And I'm going to add it to those 6 ones, so I have 36 ones. Okay? Is 36 greater than 6? Yes. So what am I going to do? Repeat. I've got to keep going, so I'm going to repeat it. Okay? Now, I can look up here at my multiples. What can 36 divided by 6, what other factor am I going to use? What can I divide 36 by 6? What's that going to be? Preston? It's going to be what? Well, it's going to equal 36, but what am I dividing? 6. Very good. So 36 divided by 6 is going to be 6 because I've got up here that 6 times 6 is 36. Okay? So if I go ahead and do this first, I don't really have to even think about it. All right, so I've divided. Now I'm going to multiply. 6 times 6 is 36. Very good. Next, I'm going to subtract. 36 minus 36 is going to be 0. Okay, so next I'm going to bring it up. Well, if it's 0, can I repeat with the 0? No, I can't. There's nothing left to divide in 6 into. So do I have a remainder? No, because I have nothing left. So my final quotient is going to be 126. Okay? Now, am I done? No, why not? What do I need to do? Nope, I don't have a remainder. It's 0. What do I need to do? I've got to check myself. Very good. You are not done until you check yourself. Okay? So, how am I going to check myself? What am I going to do? Jacob? Multiply 126 times 6. Very good. So, I'm going to have to do the inverse operation, which for multiplication, or for division, that's going to be multiplication. So, I'm going to have to multiply 126 times 6. And if I do it correctly, what should my product be? Should be 756. So let's see. 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to put my 6 in my 1's place. I'm taking my 3 tens over to the 10's place. Then I'm going to multiply my 10's place. 6 1's times 2 tens. 12 tens plus 3 tens. 15 tens. So I'm going to leave my 5 in my tens place, and I'm going to take my 10 tens, and I'm going to trade them in for 100. So 6 times 100, 6 times 100, 600 plus another 100, 700. Okay, so my product is 756. My dividend is 756. Is my answer correct? Yes. Great job with that. All right, so this time we're going to do one from scratch, okay? So we're going to look at the division problem 488, and we're going to divide that by 7, Okay? So go ahead and get that on your paper. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my boxes for my box method. I have 3 digits in my dividend, so I'm going to put them down here. Now, look at how I do this, guys, because I'm going to space them out just a little bit. It's going to be real important when you're doing division that you write neatly and you put everything in order. Some of you like to write sideways and upside down and crooked across the page. If you do that, you're going to mess yourself up because you're not going to know what you're dividing into. So when you write this dividend down, you want to write it where you have 4, 8, 8 lined up on one line, but you want to leave a little bit of space between each one of your digits, okay? And when I do this, guys, I think of this as whenever we were doing place value and we would put our digits in the place value chart. So I would have my tens and my ones, my tens, and my hundreds. Okay. You want to draw your boxes where you have at least 3 lines underneath your digits because that gives you plenty of room to multiply, subtract, and bring up. Okay. And then I'm going to put my divisor of 7 on the outside of my box. Now, over here to the side, I'm going to start by listing my multiples of 7 because it's going to save me time in the long run, okay? So I'm going to just skip count by 7s. 7 times 1 is 7. What's next? 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. That's the last one. Boy, I had to really squeeze to get all of those on there. All right. Now I'm going to list my steps. Mommy, or sorry, not mommy. Daddy's first. Daddy, mommy, sister, brother, Rover. Okay. Now, I've done all my prep work. Whenever you go to bake a cake, you have to prep everything, right? You've got to get everything ready before you can put it in the oven. This is my prep work for my division problem. Now I'm ready to start dividing, okay? So I'm going to divide 4 divided by 7. How many times can 7 go into 4? None. There is nothing up here. My first multiple is 7. 7 times 1 is 7. So 7 can't even go into 4. So what do you think is going to be my quotient over the 4 here? What am I going to put over the 4? Can it go into it at all? No. So it's going to be 0. It cannot go into it at all. It's going to be a 0. Okay. Now, I'm still going to follow my steps. I'm going to have to multiply. So what is 0 times 7? It is going to be 0. Very good. Okay. Next, I'm going to subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. Good. Okay. Now, what am I going to do with that 4? I'm going to bring it up. So I have 4 in that hundreds box. I'm going to bring it up over here to my tens box. So now I have 48 tens, okay? Is 48 greater than 7? Yes, so I'm going to have to repeat. I'm going to keep working, okay? Now, this is where your multiples are going to come in handy because now, what is 48 divided by 7? Mackenzie? 48 divided by 7. Look at your multiples up here. 6. Very good, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 times 6 is 42. Very good. So 6 is going to go above my 48 because I divided 48 by 7. And then 6 times 7 is what? Class? 42. Very good. So I multiplied. So next I'm going to subtract. 48 minus 42, 6. Now I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring my 6 over here. Now I have 68 ones. 68's a lot bigger than 7, so I can keep dividing. I'm going to have to repeat, okay? So now, look back at your facts up here. 68 divided by 7, Aubrey? 9. Very good, because I know that 7 times 9 gives me 63. Good job. So I'm going to put my 9 up here above my 68. And so I've divided. So now I'm going to have to multiply. 9 times 7 is 63. Okay. So now I'm going to subtract. 68 minus 63. 8 minus 3 is 5. Very good. Now I'm going to bring it up. So I'm going to bring my 5 up. All right. Is 5 greater than 7? No. So can I repeat? No. What does that mean about this 5? What's this 5 going to be, Peyton? That's very good. This 5 is going to be my remainder. So my quotient for 488 divided by 7 is going to be 69 with a remainder of 5. Okay? Am I finished? No. What do I have to do next, Sandra? I've got to check my work. Very good. And how am I going to do that? What am I going to do? Kason, what am I going to do? Very good. So I'm going to multiply 69 times 7. Okay? And this should be easy because I have my multiples of 7 up here. 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm going to leave my 3 in my 1's place, and I'm going to bring my 6 over to my 10's place. So then 7 times 6 is 48. Oh, 7 times 6? 42. Very good. 7 times 6 is 42. And then, Jacob, I have to add my 6 ones. So it's going to be 48. Okay? All right. So I have 483, but my dividend was 485. Something's wrong. What's wrong here, Ryder? You used like the remainder of 5 and add it up. Very good. I have to add that remainder of 5 back in there. So 483 plus 5 is going to equal 488. Does my product match my dividend? Yes. So then I know I've done my work correctly. All right. Now, I want you to try one on your own. Okay. So down here underneath where you just did that one, I'll get you started. All right. I want you to do, let's do 629. And we won't make this too hard. We're going to divide this by 2. Okay. So 629 divided by 2. Do it on another page. All right. So 629 divided by 2. So let's think. What's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to make our box. Excellent. So I'm going to put my dividend down here. 629. And I'm going to put a box around all 3 of them. So if I have 3 digits, I have 3 boxes. And then I'm going to put my divisor on the outside. Up here, I'm going to list my multiples of 2, which should be really easy because I'm just counting by 2. 2, 4, 6. I'm stopping there. You're going to have to finish the rest of them on your own. And then don't forget to do your check steps. Daddy, mommy, sister, brother, Rover. Okay? All right. So let's see how you do with that. Go ahead and get started. Good luck.